When we cut down on the number of toys we have for our children, they actually play longer and better with the fewer toys that they have.
I'm Jessica.
And I'm Rachel.
And we are the OT practitioners here at Harkla, and we have worked with families for so many years on how to decrease the number of toys to actually improve their child's focus, attention, and behavior.
There's actually a really interesting research article that we found years ago, and we've done a podcast about this in the past, but the research article talks about the study between having kids with 16 toys available versus having kids with 4 toys available. And what they found is those kids who had 4 toys to play with, they had improved attention, they played with their toys longer, they had more creativity, more imaginative play. And so that's what we're going to focus on today, is teaching you exactly that, how to decrease the amount of toys that you have in order to increase your child's attention. And if you haven't read the book Hunt, Gather, Parent, we highly recommend reading it. It will change your entire perspective on parenting, toys, chores, all the things. We'll link it in the description for you.
So tip number 1 is going to be to rotate your child's toys versus just simply remove them. So instead of going through your child's toy closet, toy bins, and just getting rid of everything, try rotating through. So you're going to need some bins or some boxes, pack up a bunch of the toys that maybe your child hasn't been playing with recently, and keep just a small handful, I would say less than 10 toys out, and keep those toys available for a week, and then rotate through, get 10 new toys, put the other ones away, and have 10 new toys. Again, maybe less depending on the child's age. Again, less is more, right?
Yeah.
Isn't simplicity is the
highest form of elegance.
Thank you. So rotate the toys, toy rotation versus just removing them.
Yeah, I honestly feel like this is like Christmas. Every time you rotate the toys, when I do this with my kids, they play with their toys that they've had for years. Years, they're 4 and 3.
Still years, right?
But still,
years.
They play with their toys so much longer, and they're like, oh, I forgot about this. I love this toy. And then we just rotate through. We have bins, I want to say everything's organized, but it's me and it's probably not that organized.
So you can keep it organized if you want.
You could probably do better than me. Tip number 2 is to choose open-ended toys that promote creativity. So instead of, picking a toy that is like Spider-Man, right? Maybe your child loves Spider-Man, but we already know who it is, what he does, his superpowers. Everything's already pre-programmed for how your child needs to play with that toy. But rather maybe steer towards open-ended toys like a kitchen or a road and a car that maybe aren't branded, in order to allow your child to be in charge of what the toy does and how they play with the toys. This is also really helpful for those executive functioning skills as well. But open-ended toys are going to generally allow children to play longer, have more creativity, more excitement, and you can always rotate the different items that are included in those pretend play items, if that makes sense. Like change out the play kitchen donuts for the play kitchen coffee, or the, this car for that car, or, this pretend dinosaur. Something like that.
There you go. Tip number 3 is to model playing with less. So you might already know this, but your child really wants you to play with them. So put the phone away, turn the TV off, get down on the floor, and play with your child with the 1 or 2 or 3 toys that they have available, and show them some different ideas, some different ways to play with their toys. Follow their lead on how they want to play with the toys versus giving them instructions, but really playing with them for a small amount of time will make a huge impact.
I honestly feel like this is our kiddos' love language at this, especially like our younger aged kiddos. This is their love language. They want quality time with you. They want it to be distraction free, and they want to connect with you, and playing the games that they're interested in and really getting down on their level and learning what they're interested in is going to be so huge for their development and for your connection.
Tip number 4 is to design the play space in a calm, organized way. This is going to really help decrease overstimulation if the environment or the playroom is too busy and cluttered. So this is where organizational shelves and bins and containers really come in handy to keep everything organized, to put it away, out of sight, out of mind, especially at bedtime when toys being everywhere can be really distracting. But keeping the space more organized if possible and allowing your child to be able to get the toys out independently versus requiring you to do it for them will also be helpful. So check the types of bins and lids that you have or that you want to buy, and make sure your child knows how to open and close them so they can be a little more independent.
And one more tip to boost those executive functioning skills: organize the bins with pictures of what goes inside the bins, or use clear bins so they can see exactly what it is, and that will help them be independent with cleaning up and being able to grab those toys independently. Yes. And then one extra tip that works really well in our household, maybe it'll be helpful for you, if we bring in a new toy into our household. Let's say we're at the grocery store and my kiddos really want this red Lamborghini car and this Care Bear, because we know we've all been there. My rule is, if we decide to take those home, we have to pick a toy that we already have at home and donate it to someone in need. And so if we bring a new toy in, the rule is they have to at least get rid of one toy, and that does not mean rotate. That means get rid of, donate, give it to someone else who maybe doesn't have the same number of toys that we have.
It's a great tip. Keep in mind with all of these tips that less toys does not mean that you are depriving your child. Really, you are giving them the gift of focus and self-exploration with playing with what they have.
We honestly live in this time where we are constantly being bombarded with all of the things that you need for your child's development, but we challenge you to say no and to keep that less is more concept in the back of your brain, and know that you're still a good parent, you're still a good caregiver, even if you have less items for your child than maybe your neighbor does.
And if you enjoyed this video and you want more ideas for a sensory-friendly home and play space, make sure you check out our video on how to create a sensory calm down corner.
We appreciate you being here. Make sure if this video was helpful, you give it a like. Make sure you're subscribed to our channel. We drop a new video every Tuesday, and we would appreciate it if you left a comment or maybe even shared this video with a family member in need of hearing this.
Also, make sure you're following us on Instagram. We're at Harkla_family, as well as at All Things Sensory Podcast.
Don't forget to listen to our podcast. We have over 300 episodes on topics near and dear to your heart. We promise they will be beneficial. You can find it on all major podcast platforms.
And with that, we'll be back for another video next week.
Okay, bye.